Just read your Constitution. It's there, people. It doesn't say there's an exception because he's a nice, smooth-talking, Harvard-educated black man. It doesn't say that. Or if your father was a Navy admiral, you'll make an exception. It doesn't say that. How many years have you lived in here, Uncle Sam?
Gee, I lost count. I've been here a couple 100 years.
A couple 100 years. Now, Uncle Sam would qualify to be president. Guess what you get? You get Palin as president. Is that what you want? Somebody who's governor of a state with fewer people than the city of Milwaukee. And she can't keep her daughter from getting pregnant before she's married. That's what you want for president? And vote against Mayor Larry, vote against all incumbents, vote Democrat Lois Capps out, vote Hannah Beth Jackson out, vote in any opposition just to tell them Halloween's over. No more trick-or-treating. It's out of $1 trillion to the bank gangsters who just ripped you off. And it's hurting this country. It was supposed to save the country. It didn't save the country. Just gave all those rich... I got to be polite, don't I, Uncle Sam?
Well, a little polite, yes.
I don't know. There's something wrong with somebody that runs a mortgage company portfolio so badly it goes totally bankrupt, and you people all have to dig in and pay them, and then they give themselves a $30 million golden parachute to leave the job. How many of you get fired and they give you a, hey, Senor Garcia's here manning one of the cameras. See, I can just nod your head, Senor Garcia. Would they give you $1 million going away present if you did a bad job where you're working? He's shaking his head no. He said he doesn't get a golden parachute. Well, if Senor Garcia can't get one here, if Rob Hill, their directing, can't get one, why should these guys that do a terrible job that we got to bail them out, why should they get? It's insane. So your way of saying I'm really ticked off with you people is vote against all incumbents, whether it's city council, a mayor, Congress. Vote them all. Vote them out. That's my word of wisdom. With me here in the studio is a lovely lady, a mother of children, and a woman who's got some life experience, and she's a songstress. No, she was not with the Grateful Dead, but she probably wishes she was. Please, if you all put your hands together, welcome Star of the Family Hills.
Where the family
Right? Star, how long have you been playing music?
Before I can remember.
Wow.
So I've been told.
So your mom and dad were in music?
Well, they were, they had some musical talents. When I was a small child, as soon as I could reach the piano, I was banging away on it.
You were up there banging away.
Mm-hmm.
That's like my son. What do you think about these guys getting $1 trillion bailout for doing a bad job?
Well, I think like Ron Paul says, they just print the money out of thin air. And so there has to be a signature on, somebody's got to sign a signature and owe that money. So where did they get it? Where did it come from?
Out of the thin air.
Yeah.
Thinner air than what
Came out
I'm
of thin
pulling
air.
out right here. Well, Star, if you were a congressperson, if you were all of the 435 Congress critters, would you have voted to bail them out? Or just let them fail and say, well, what happens, happens?
Well, I try to stay out of politics myself, but I just know that they create the money out of thin air, and if they don't have us as their debt slaves to be responsible for it, then who's going to be responsible for it? I believe that Congress, if they're going to vote for that, well, how about they are the ones responsible for paying the debt, rather than the sovereign people.
You don't hear very often the sovereign people. I believe that we were all intended to be sovereigns. I really, truly believe. Do you believe that, Star?
Well, I do. I've seen a literal translation in scriptures that says that God made us all sovereign. Now, I've seen other translations that say God made us all kings. Well, that kind of excludes women.
Well, the Bible was written by men, so of course they have a little bit of a, shall we say, male bias. I don't think they ever contemplated that women would, ever be voting, holding judgeships, and ever run for vice president. I think that was, way beyond anything anybody thought in the biblical times. Let me go back on another question. You saw the opening with the Michael Jackson rally, and all the fans were there. We didn't show much of the fans, but there were hundreds there. I don't think Tom Sneddon could get 6 fans together to applaud him after the sleazy thing he did to Michael in faking evidence. I mean, they got caught, and this was. I'm sorry. If you call me back, I want to discuss this with you, Mr. Sneddon, about you faking the phone call, and then your own sergeant on the witness stand said, "Oh, you got that all wrong," and Zonin or Squawking Claw said, "Oh, Your Honor, we'd like to withdraw that evidence," and then Mesro said, "No, it's the jury's heard it; it stays on the record." Then you had the magazine thing. Boy, did he stick both feet down his throat and pull it out Sneddon's own butt when Mesro said, "But wait a minute, look at the date on the magazine. It hadn't even been published at the time the boy claims he got his fingerprints on it at Neverland."